Hey Packers fans, let's dive deep into what could be a game-changing moment for Green Bay's defense. Over the last couple of seasons, the Packers have poured resources into strengthening their secondary, trying to build a wall against the league's best passers. But as any football fan knows, the battle doesn't end there. The pressure on the quarterback starts long before the ball reaches the receivers. And that's exactly where the Packers seem to be setting their sights now. The name on everyone's lips lately, Trey Hendrickson, a veteran edge rusher who has consistently made quarterbacks sweat over his 8 seasons in the league. Despite ongoing contract talks between Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals, there remains uncertainty about whether those discussions will lead to an agreement. If they stall or fall apart, it opens the door for other teams to make their move. Green Bay could be perfectly positioned to capitalize on this moment, bringing in a player who's already proven he can dominate at the highest level. What makes this prospect so exciting is not just Hendrickson's track record, but how his skill set fits so well with what the Packers need to elevate their defense. We all know Rashan Gary has been showing flashes of brilliance as a disruptive force on the edge. But outside of him, the Packers are still looking for more consistent pressure from the pass rush. Younger players like Lucas Van Ness and rookie Baron Sorrell have potential, but they haven't yet reached the level of impact the team requires. Adding Hendrickson would instantly bring an experienced and reliable weapon to Green Bay's front seven, someone who can wreak havoc in the backfield and make life harder for opposing quarterbacks. The Bengals' situation plays a huge role in this story. If Cincinnati finds itself struggling in the competitive landscape of the AFC North, or if the contract extension talks don't progress over the coming months, the Bengals might be forced to consider moving Hendrickson before the trade deadline. That's where the Packers enter as a prime candidate to make a splash. Their combination of salary cap space, clear defensive needs, and the hunger to push deeper into the playoffs makes them an attractive landing spot. Looking at the bigger picture, the Packers are hungry to improve. After falling short in the NFC wildcard round last season, Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, knows the importance of making bold moves that can shift the team's trajectory. Bringing in a proven pass rusher like Hendrickson, who already boasts 7 TY7 sacks in his career, could be the key to unlocking a more dominant defense. Imagine the impact on a front line that's been searching for that extra punch to break through offensive lines and disrupt the rhythm of opposing offenses. Hendrickson's presence would not only increase the pressure on quarterbacks, but also help free up other defenders, creating a more dynamic and versatile defensive unit. That kind of upgrade is priceless in today's NFL, where games often come down to which defense can create turnovers and force mistakes. With Hendrickson added to the mix, the Packers could reshape their defensive identity and become one of the most feared units in the league. There's also the strategic aspect of this potential acquisition. Teams in the NFC who need pass rushers will surely be watching the Bengals' contract saga closely, while the Commanders and the Lions have been mentioned as possible suitors. Green Bay's cap flexibility and urgent need for edge pressure might just give them the upper hand. In these trade talks, the balance between cap space and team needs is a tricky dance, and the Packers seem to be positioned perfectly to make this move work financially and competitively. Considering all these factors, it's clear that this isn't just about adding another player. It's about changing the narrative for the Packers' defense and making a statement that the team is ready to compete at the highest level. If this trade goes through, it will signal a new chapter for Green Bay, one where they aggressively address their weaknesses and show they're not content with early playoff exits. From the fans' perspective, this kind of move injects a fresh wave of excitement and hope into the season. Knowing that a disruptive force like Hendrickson could be lining up every down for Green Bay is something to get fired up about. It raises expectations and creates a buzz around the defense that hasn't been felt in a while. Ultimately, this potential trade highlights how dynamic and fast-moving the NFL offseason can be. Teams must stay alert and ready to seize opportunities as they arise. The Packers appear to be positioning themselves well to do just that. And if Hendrickson lands in Green Bay, it could be one of the most impactful moves of the year. As the trade deadline approaches, all eyes will be on the Bengals' negotiations and the Packers' maneuvers behind the scenes. Whether this deal materializes or not, it's clear that Green Bay is actively exploring every avenue to improve and build a team capable of making a deep playoff run. The quest for that elusive Super Bowl trophy demands nothing less than bold strategic decisions, and adding a player like Hendrickson fits perfectly into that vision. Looking deeper into the potential impact of Trey Hendrickson joining the Packers, one of the biggest factors is how his experience can elevate the younger players on the roster. Green Bay has some intriguing talent coming up the ranks, but nothing beats having a seasoned pass rusher who knows how to read offenses, time his rushes perfectly, and make decisive plays when it counts most. Hendrickson has built a reputation for his relentless motor and ability to slip past blockers, and bringing that kind of leadership to the locker room could help accelerate the development of players like Lucas Van Ness and Baron Sorrell. This mentorship element often gets overlooked, but it's crucial in shaping a defense that can compete night after night in the brutal grind of an NFL season. The tactical benefits of adding Hendrickson cannot be overstated. The Packers' defensive scheme has often relied on creating pressure with a variety of looks, and having a versatile edge rusher like him opens up the playbook considerably. He can rush from both sides, drop into coverage when needed, and adapt to different defensive strategies. That flexibility is invaluable, especially when facing quarterbacks who are adept at escaping pressure or when teams try to double-team the most dangerous pass rushers. By forcing offenses to constantly adjust to Hendrickson's presence, the Packers can create mismatches and open opportunities for other defenders to make big plays. Another important aspect to consider is the effect this move would have on Green Bay's overall defensive identity. In recent years, the team has been known for a solid secondary and a relatively young front seven, still finding its rhythm. Adding Hendrickson sends a message that Green Bay isn't just trying to survive. They want to dominate. The kind of disruptive pressure he brings can change the complexion of games, turning what might be comfortable situations for opposing offenses into moments of chaos and urgency. When the pass rush heats up, quarterbacks have less time to find their targets, mistakes increase, and momentum swings can happen in an instant. The timing of this potential acquisition is also critical. The Packers are entering a phase where their core players are hitting their prime, and the window to make a serious run is wide open. Adding a proven impact player like Hendrickson right now aligns perfectly with their competitive timeline. Rather than waiting for rookies to develop over several years, this kind of move accelerates the process and signals to fans and opponents alike that Green Bay is serious about making noise in the playoffs. The front office knows that championship windows don't stay open forever, so striking while the iron is hot is a smart strategy. From the Bengals side, the situation reflects the harsh realities of the NFL's business side. When contract negotiations drag on and teams face cap constraints, tough decisions have to be made. Moving a player like Hendrickson might not be ideal for Cincinnati, but if it allows them to avoid losing him for nothing in free agency, it could be a necessary evil. For Green Bay, this creates a unique opportunity to swoop in and grab a top-tier player without the risk of a bidding war. It's a win-win scenario provided the negotiations align and both sides agree on the terms. In the locker room, the presence of a player with Hendrickson's track record could also boost morale and confidence. Knowing that management is committed to upgrading the defense can inspire current players to elevate their own performances. Confidence on a football team often translates to better communication, more aggressive play calling, and an overall sense of belief that the team can overcome adversity. This intangible factor might not show up on the stat sheet, but it can be a game changer over the course of a long season. Moreover, the addition of Hendrickson could shift how opposing teams prepare for Green Bay. Offenses will have to account for his speed, power, and savvy, which can force them to change protection schemes or limit their passing options. This kind of disruption often results in more hurried throws, increased sacks, and turnovers. Exactly the kind of outcomes a defense needs to create to win consistently. In a league where every inch of field position and every second on the clock matters, those small advantages add up. Looking beyond just this season, acquiring Hendrickson might also influence Green Bay's drafting and free agency strategies. Moving forward, with a strong veteran presence on the edge, the team can afford to be more patient in developing younger players or redirect resources to other areas that need attention. Building a balanced and deep roster is crucial for sustained success, and adding a player like Hendrickson gives the Packers valuable flexibility. There's also the fan excitement factor. Packers supporters have been eager to see their team make bold moves, and landing a player with Hendrickson's credentials would certainly ignite enthusiasm. The buzz created by such a signing can energize the stadium, boost ticket sales, and generate momentum that carries into each game. Passionate fans are a huge part of Green Bay's identity, and making a splash like this would only deepen that connection. In the broader context of the NFC, the Packers' pursuit of Hendrickson could reshape the dynamics of the division and conference. With several teams vying for supremacy, adding a high-impact player can be the difference between a playoff berth and an early exit. The NFC is stacked with talent, and every edge counts when it comes to clinching those critical wins. Green Bay's move to target a player of this caliber shows their intent to not just compete but to see on 10 at the highest level. Ultimately, the story of Trey Hendrickson and the Packers is one that underscores the strategic chess match happening behind the scenes in the NFL. Teams must constantly balance talent, salary cap considerations, and long-term planning while trying to assemble a roster capable of winning it all. The possibility of this blockbuster trade highlights how one move can ripple through a franchise, altering its fortunes and shaping its future as the trade deadline draws near. The anticipation builds. Fans, analysts, and players alike will be watching closely to see if Green Bay pulls off this ambitious U.S. acquisition. Whether or not the deal goes through, the fact that the Packers are exploring this option sends a clear signal they are ready to make bold moves and chase championship glory. With everything they have, the coming weeks will be fascinating to watch as the NFL's most exciting drama unfolds right in front of us. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL landscape is rife with speculation, but a new earth-shattering rumor has begun to echo through league circles, suggesting a potential seismic shift that could redefine a legendary franchise. Sources cloaked in anonymity are hinting at what would undoubtedly be the most monumental acquisition in Green Bay Packers history. The unthinkable possibility of Justin Herbert, the Los Angeles Chargers' prodigious quarterback, landing in Titletown. While currently under contract with the Chargers, the whispers aren't about a free agent signing, but a blockbuster trade that would send shockwaves across the football world. The sheer audacity of the idea, a young franchise-altering quarterback leaving his original team, fuels the intense buzz. Green Bay, a team historically renowned for drafting and developing its signal callers, rather than acquiring established stars via trade, would be shattering decades of tradition. With such a move, the notion once dismissed as pure fantasy gains traction amidst vague murmurs of unforeseen opportunities and strategic alignments. Imagine Herbert with his cannon arm and remarkable athleticism donning the green and gold for a team that transitioned from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, just recently pivoting again. Especially for a talent of Herbert's caliber, would signify an unprecedented level of aggression and a belief that he could instantly elevate them to Super Bowl contention. Such a transaction would of course come at an astronomical cost. A king's ransom and draft capital, potentially including multiple first-round picks and key players. It would also raise immediate questions about Jordan Love's future despite his recent promising performances. The narrative building around this unconfirmed report is that the Packers might be eyeing a generational talent they believe could solidify their Super Bowl window for the next decade and beyond. This isn't just about adding a great player, it's about making a generational statement. The very idea of Justin Herbert in a Packers uniform, even as a distant possibility, is enough to ignite the NFL rumor mill into an absolute frenzy, marking it as perhaps the biggest what-if story of the offseason. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Green Bay Packers, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.